Hola, my friends! If you're dreaming of buying a holiday home in sunny Spain or using a short-term rental to top up your income and make that visa requirement a little bit easier, well, this video is for you. And sorry, but it might just change your mind and give you a massive wake-up call, because Spain's government has just taken one more serious step towards something that's already had British expat groups absolutely fuming: a 100% property tax on non-resident, non-EU buyers. And yes, that includes Brits. In today's video, we're looking into this new draft law, what it really means, whether it's likely to pass, and more importantly, how it could impact you. Let's get right into it. So here's the headline. Spain's socialist-led coalition government have followed up on promises earlier this year and submitted the draft bill on the 22nd of May that proposes a 100% tax on property purchases by non-resident, non-EU nationals. That means if you're British and not already a Spanish resident, you could end up paying double the market value for a home here. And yes, it does mean 100% on the purchase price. That's been made very clear. This is a huge jump from the current transfer tax, which averages about 8%. And the reason behind it? Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez says it's to fight housing speculation, cool the overheated property market, and ease the housing crisis for Spanish families. So let's break it down. The law would hit non-EU, non-residents. So that's anyone not holding an EU passport who isn't a resident of Spain, which includes, yes, post-Brexit Brits. British nationals are still the largest group of foreign buyers in Spain, especially in coastal and rural areas. But how big is this market? Well, it's surprisingly small. Only about 1.6 to 3% of all property transactions in Spain are by non-EU, non-resident buyers, and Brits are a percentage of that percentage. That's not a massive chunk, which raises the question: is this law more symbolic than practical? For many Brits, the dream is to buy a property and rent part of it short-term, Airbnb style, to help meet the visa income requirements or to stretch their pension so they can travel the world in retirement. This tax would make that dream vastly more expensive and ultimately totally impractical in Spain. Here's the good news though, or at least the uncertain news. This is only a draft bill right now. And as I've said before on YouTooSpain, it's notoriously foolish to speculate on the final result, because draft laws still need parliamentary approval. And Sánchez is running a minority government, so passing controversial laws is tricky. The opposition has already slammed it as xenophobic. The People's Party, the PP, ironically, they're the main right-wing opposition, says it won't support a law that targets foreigners. But here's the wild card in the pack. Public anger over the housing crisis is growing fast. There have been lots of protests against over-tourism, skyrocketing rents, and locals being priced out. So even if the tax is controversial, public opinion could sway Parliament if politicians start listening to the people. Well, it does happen sometimes. This law isn't coming out of nowhere. It's part of a bigger push. The government also wants to put VAT on short-term tourist rentals at the full rate of 21% to discourage platforms like Airbnb. Currently, hotels already pay 10% VAT, and holidaymakers from the UK have tended to opt for staying in houses rather than hotels. But this new VAT rate on B&Bs could see tourists switching to hotels instead. This week alone, over 65,000 illegal holiday rentals were removed from Airbnb by order of Spain's Consumer Ministry. That's clearly a major clampdown underway. For Brits, this is especially harsh. Before Brexit, British buyers were treated like any other EU citizen. And now You're in the same boat as any other third country national. And this tax law could slam the door shut on thousands of would-be buyers. It's not just about second homes either. A lot of British people use short-term rentals to help towards Spain's income requirements for the non-lucrative visa or the digital nomad visa. If this bill passes, it won't just kill your rental income, it might kill your whole relocation plan. No more buying property in advance of moving, leaving people having to get a long-term rental contract to begin with to fulfil the residency requirements, then buy a property at some point afterwards. It's more expensive and it delays the potential income that the property generates. So, here's the big question, will the law pass? Maybe, maybe not. Sanchez has failed with similar housing reform ideas before, but this time there seems to be a bit of momentum. The end of the golden visa programme, there's the Airbnb crackdown, all of the protests that seem to be really regular every few months. The public mood is changing. If you're thinking of buying in Spain as a non-resident Brit, now's the time to stay informed, speak to lawyers, and maybe even consider becoming a resident before this gets more serious. And that's where we come in. Here at YouTooSpain, we'll keep breaking it down. The bureaucracy, the politics, and yes, the crazy new laws. And we have plenty of trusted contacts in the video description below who can help with your plans and in navigating the bureaucracy. So, hit the like button, the subscribe thingamajiggy and the little bell and drop a comment below. Would this law stop you from buying in Spain? Or do you think it's a smart move to protect Spanish families? Or both? Hasta luego, peace and love, peas and fluff. See you in the next video.